Coming up on Citrus TV News Live at 6, reporter Gabrielle Caracciolo sits down with the new Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion at the School of Visual and Performing Arts.
And as Breast Cancer Awareness Month wraps up, reporter Anna Azallion traveled to a downtown exhibit that shares cancer survivors' stories.
And updates on the explosive devices sent to numerous political figures across the country. Find out who the latest recipients of the suspicious packages are and what law enforcement officials are saying. Citrus TV News Live at 6 starts right now.
Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Boost the Q's 2 is still going on at the Quad, currently getting students ready for tonight's basketball exhibition. Good evening, I'm Zach Lang.
And I'm Gilat Melamed. The event has been raising money all day for the university, with events like cash grab challenges and student performances.
Even Chief Facilities Officer Pete Sala was in on the 24-hour event, offering selfies with students. So far, nearly $700,000 have been raised.
The university is in the process of appointing leaders of diversity, equity, and inclusion at each college in the university. Citrus TV reporter Gabrielle Caracciolo sat down with the College of Visual and Performing Arts inaugural director, Dr. James Rolling Jr.
Have these positions been appointed as a direct result of Theta Tau, or is this something that's been in the works for longer than that?
Well, that's a good question. From what I can see, even though there are in some colleges diversity committees, like for instance in the School of Education, the idea of trying to change the culture of each of the colleges at SU, that sort of big giant concerted effort, that's pretty new, right? And I think it's probably in response to the catalyst of the Theta Tau incident.
What are your hopes in terms of diversity, equity, and inclusion for the future of Syracuse University?
So I want everyone to understand that this is a common work. Everybody knows how to do this. We know what diversity and equity and making sure and looking out for one another feels like, because we learned this when we were in kindergarten at the playground, right? This is something that is not dependent on chairs and deans to do. This is something that we have to look out for one another. So I want to see this to be a common conversation, and folks feeling at all quarters feeling that they can contribute to the work. So that in the end, what happens is not about bringing in speakers who come and go, right? But that real structural changes happen. Programs are instituted, systems are put in place. I want to see things that sort of stay and become permanent and structural to the SU, as opposed to, here today, gone tomorrow.
Dr. Rolling says he will work on improving the areas of readiness, recruitment, and retention in his new role. To watch more of Gabrielle's exclusive interview with Dr. Rolling, visit CitrusTV.com.
Author Margaret Atwood is in Syracuse and will be at Hendricks Chapel tonight for an onstage conversation with students. Atwood is the author of the acclaimed book, The Handmaid's Tale, which has been adapted into an Emmy Award-winning series on Hulu. The event is free and open to the public as a part of Parents Weekend. Book signing opportunities won't be available, but Atwood's books will be on sale in Hendricks. You still have time to catch the event at 7:30 p.m. tonight. As October comes to a close, so does Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Citrus TV reporter Anna Azallion is live in studio to tell us how a Newhouse professor has been honoring survivors these past few weeks.
Newhouse professor Tula Goenka not only created the Look Now exhibition, which honors survivors, she participated in it. The gallery features portraits of 44 breast cancer survivors like Goenka, and she says this project has been in the work for 9 years. Now that it's a reality at the Point of Contact Gallery, Goenka says it's hard to pick just one thing people should take away.
From what I've heard from people who have gone to the show, I think they're really struck by the bravery of all the participants. It's really very courageous to stand there and have people look at you, but then also see a very intimate part of your body, your private battle scars.
Now, this exhibition is more than just photographs. The gallery has lots of pink, including mirrors and a wall anyone can sign or leave a message on. And Goenka also included her passion for filmmaking.
I'm a filmmaker first and foremost, and I'll always make a short film or a documentary if I can. So in the gallery, apart from the photographs that are on display, we also have about a 7-minute short film that has been created about the 25 participants who took part in the portrait sessions. And it's the behind the scenes, the making of the show itself.
Goenka scheduled the gallery to be open just during Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Now this means there's only a few days left. It ends on the 31st. Anyone interested in seeing the battles these men and women faced can go to the Point of Contact Gallery inside the SU Warehouse. Zach and Gilat, don't you think it's inspiring that she chose 44 men and women from Central New York to highlight?
And I think that is an amazing tribute to the battle these women went through.
And such a significant number, too, for us here at CUSE.
Absolutely. And speaking of significant for us here at Syracuse, when do you think we're going to expect some snow?
I don't know. I am certainly not ready for it. Carmella Boykin's here to tell us when we will expect it, though.
Thanks, Gilat. We're definitely not going to see snow anytime soon, thankfully, but if you take a look at our photo of the day sent in by Allie Heath, thank you, Allie, for your submission, you can see the orange leaves. Allie said she sent in this picture because the orange kind of represented how we are at CUSE, bleeding orange. Thank you, Allie, for your submission, and if you are interested in sending in a photo of the day, make sure you send it in to Citrus TV News. And if you take a look at the weather outside right now, we are resting around mostly cloudy skies. Earlier today it was overcast and we didn't see much of the sun, but now it's going to be mostly cloudy. We can see little peaks of the sunset as the sun goes down. We're resting at 39 degrees and 5-mile-per-hour wind speeds. And as we move into tonight, it's going to be mostly cloudy outside, even though it's Halloween and we have almost a full moon. We're not going to see any of that tonight as it's going to be overcast. And we're resting around 35 degrees, which is almost freezing. So if you're headed out for a Halloween powwow, make sure you bundle up and your costume is including a sweater. And as we move into tomorrow, at 9 a.m. we're going to be around 39 degrees, warm up to 46 degrees around noon, and 49 degrees around 6 p.m. Again, it's going to be completely overcast tomorrow, so we're really not going to see a lot of the sun, but it's Parents' Weekend here at Syracuse University, so hopefully your parents can roll up to brighten your day. That's all I have for you right now, but make sure you stick around for my full 5-day weather forecast after the break. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Carmella. Congressional candidates John Katko and Dana Balter faced off in an hour-long debate last night. The high point of the debate came when Balter accused Katko of switching his stance on an aviation bill because he was given campaign funds by the airline industry. Katko called the claim outrageous. The two continued to disagree on health care and taxes, but did agree on fighting against the lead paint issue that has poisoned children in Syracuse. Two former Upstate Medical University employees are denouncing the school's leadership in a Syracuse.com op-ed. Former pediatrics chair Dr. Thomas Welch, as well as Dr. Thomas Quinn, are calling for greater oversight of the medical university. The two cite ongoing scandals immersing SUNY Upstate as reason for their concern. The former president of the university recently pled guilty in a money laundering scandal.
It's now down to 3 candidates to be the next Syracuse police chief. Syracuse First Deputy Police Chief Joe Cecile is the only locally based nominee, having served for 33 years in the SPD. Also in the running are Cameron Afzal and Kenton Buckner, police chiefs of Durango, Colorado and Little Rock, Arkansas, respectively. Mayor Ben Walsh will select a new police chief in November. And the city of Syracuse is announcing the graduation of firefighter recruits, which is set to take place tomorrow. 26 probationary firefighters will graduate from the Syracuse Fire Department Regional Training Academy at the Red House in the City Center at 1 p.m. Mayor Ben Walsh will be in attendance.
New details in a local car accident that left a teenage girl in critical condition. Authorities have identified the victim as 14-year-old Sydney Pills of Clay. The incident occurred last night around 8 p.m. Deputies say the Buick sedan responsible was driving on Bear Road when the driver hit the teen who was walking in the street. Pills was taken to the Upstate University Hospital and no one in the car was injured. A man connected to a fatal Syracuse shooting in 2016 is being charged with murder. U.S. Marshals and detectives caught 40-year-old Eduardo Robles Vasquez in North Carolina. Charges against the suspect include second-degree murder and criminal possession of a weapon.
Fans of Panda Express may have to travel farther to get their fix. 2 Panda Express restaurants in the area, one in Cicero and one in Camillus, are now closed. According to a Syracuse.com report, the closings came abruptly without much warning. Panda Express has yet to respond to questions from the paper. The Rose Bowl may take place on the West Coast, but in 2020, it'll come with a hint of upstate New York. The Baldwinsville Central School District Marching Band, the Marching Bees, announced in a Facebook post that they will be participating in the 2020 Tournament of Roses Parade in Pasadena, California. The group is the first New York State band invited to the Rose Parade in 30 years. The event takes place on New Year's Day in 2020.
Coming up after the break, what law enforcement officials are saying about the string of explosive devices sent to political figures across the nation.
Plus, find out what North and South Korea are doing at a spot former U.S. President Bill Clinton once called the scariest place on earth. Stay with us.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's smoky!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch. Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the Citrus TV Newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
The string of suspicious packages that sent to high-profile political figures across the nation continues. 2 packages containing bombs were sent to former Vice President Joe Biden's Delaware home.
Another suspicious package was sent to actor and Trump critic Robert De Niro. Officials say De Niro's package may have been sitting in his mailroom for more than a day before its discovery.
The total package count is now at 10. Recipients are high-profile figures who have criticized President Trump.
Mayor de Blasio and members of the FBI and NYPD spoke at a briefing this afternoon where they urged the public to report any information. You can relay tips to the FBI by calling 1-800-CALL-FBI or going to tips.fbi.gov. Calls to the FBI are up by 139%.
FBI Assistant Director William Sweeney stated that all the explosives have been transferred to the FBI lab in Quantico, Virginia. Experts are thoroughly examining the devices. Although Sweeney did not provide details, he stated that the organization is making discoveries by the hour.
The officials took questions from the public but did not give direct answers for everything. Even though reports say the packages may have been sent through a facility near Miami, Sweeney says some divulging some information could put the investigation at risk.
New Yorkers are safe, but everyone, all 8.6 million residents and the millions of visitors who come here every year should always remain vigilant and aware of their surroundings.
A viral outbreak at a New Jersey rehabilitation center continues to claim lives. Officials said yesterday that the death toll is up to 7 children.
They also stated that the illness's first symptoms appeared a month ago. So far, there have been 18 cases in the outbreak.
Health officials cannot declare the outbreak to be over until the center goes 4 weeks without diagnosing a new case.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions announced that the DOJ has charged over 450 medical professionals for opioid-related crimes.
Included in these crimes is prescribing pills illegally. Sessions said that just 16 doctors prescribed over 20.3 million pills illegally.
Sessions also said that the Justice Department is adding more than $100 million to combat the opioid crisis.
SU alum Megyn Kelly is still facing consequences after her offensive remarks about blackface Halloween costumes. NBC ran a rerun of her Typically Live program this morning and will do the same tomorrow.
It is not clear when or if Kelly will return to a live broadcast. According to CNN, sources familiar with the situation have confirmed Kelly's show is coming to an end.
The morning show host apologized for her comments yesterday. Reports say the backlash also revealed a rift between NBC, Kelly, and her colleagues.
More than 800 troops are heading to the southern border to stop the migrant caravan.
Secretary of Defense James Mattis signed this order to support Border Patrol as the wave of more than 7,000 migrants are expected to reach the U.S. President Trump commented, saying illegal immigration is a national emergency.
Mexico had previously said they would stop the caravan before it reached the U.S., but the migrants have continued to push through.
New details in the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Saudi Arabia's public prosecutor is now saying that the journalist's death was, quote, premeditated.
After new evidence reportedly surfaced, the kingdom is now breaking from its former narrative that the journalist was killed in a rogue brawl.
Reports earlier this week said CIA Director Gina Haspel has audio recordings that may have captured Khashoggi's murder.
And Khashoggi's son has just arrived to the United States after leaving Saudi Arabia this morning. Salah bin Jamal, a dual U.S.-Saudi citizen, was unable to leave the country until now because his passport was restricted by the Saudi government several months ago.
The Koreas are removing all weapons from the spot former President Bill Clinton once called the scariest place on earth.
The Joint Security Area of the Demilitarized Zone, or DMZ, was once a place where soldiers from the Koreas would stand face-to-face with their weapons. Now, however, the UN and Koreas are clearing their weapons and ammunition.
The move is a part of efforts between the South and North Korean leaders to reduce tensions.
Coming up next, the strongest storm to hit American land since 1935 is here. Weather correspondent Carmella Boykin tells us which regions are being affected and what weather officials are saying.
And find out why British regulators are fining Facebook over $600,000. Stay with us.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Taking a look at the current temperatures across the state of New York, we are at 39 in Syracuse and pretty much 40s everywhere else. We're at 40 in Fulton, 43 in Rochester, 42 in Elmira, but Cortland is really taking the brunt of it and they are at 36. And even though the regular temperatures for Syracuse, the regular highs are in the 50s, it feels like we are at sub-freezing temperatures. It feels like 33 in Syracuse, feels like 31 in Cortland, and feels like mid-30s throughout the rest of the state of New York. And as we take a look at the weather tonight, it is going to be mostly overcast. We're really not going to get a chance to see the moon. It's going to be 35 degrees, so almost freezing. Make sure, like I say every week, grab your electric blanket, get that hot tea, get those hot drinks, and make sure that you stay warm tonight. As we move into tomorrow, it's going to be overcast throughout the entire day. We're going to reach a high around 49 degrees, and make sure you wear layers because as the day progresses, it's slowly going to warm up. It's going to start around 37, and then we're going to hit up to 49, so you may want to start with a scarf, and then you may be able to take it off as the day ends. And as you take a look at our future radar, while we're having overcast skies across the country on the East Coast, we're going to see this rain come up. This is the first nor'easter of the season, so that's characterized by high wind and rain, and that is what explains our weekend. If you take a look at our 5-day forecast on Saturday for game day, it is going to be rain throughout the entire day. Top to bottom, it's going to be rain. Then on Sunday and Monday, we're going to have showers. You may be wondering, what's the difference? Rain, like I said, is rain from top to bottom, whereas showers is sprinkled bits of rain throughout the entire day. So we may have periods of really intense rain, we may have periods where there's not rain, but it's definitely going to be dreary. And then on Tuesday, it's going to be mostly cloudy. Temperatures are going to be in the mid-40s throughout the week, and then the lows are going to be in the 30s. That's all I have for you right now, but although we're having Mild weather here. The strongest storm to hit American land since 1935 is leaving its mark. The disaster hit the U.S. Commonwealth of the Mariana Islands last night. According to the Weather Underground figures, the super typhoon U2 is tied for having the strongest wind of any storm on record as it made its landfall. The Category 5 storm brought sustained winds of 180 miles per hour. Officials say weather conditions and massive amounts of damage are hurting rescue efforts that are now underway.
Thanks, Carmella. New details in the Cambridge Analytica scandal. British regulators are fining Facebook for the maximum amount possible. The fine comes in response to the scandal which breached the data of millions of users. They are being fined £500,000 or $644,000. Facebook is reviewing the decision and agreed that they should have done more to investigate claims about Cambridge Analytica.
A new discovery about Android creator Andrew Rubin's 2014 departure from Google. Last year, it was reported that Rubin left after having an extramarital relationship with a subordinate. However, today, a New York Times article revealed Google has been paying the former executive a total of $90 million. The search company paid Rubin this money in installments of about $2 million per month over the course of 2 years. In response, Google CEO Sundar Pichai said that over the past 2 years, the company has fired 48 people regarding sexual harassment claims.
An update on our earlier report on Megyn Kelly. NPR is reporting that she is officially out as host of Today after her comments about blackface Halloween costumes. Kelly and NBC are currently in negotiations. A source close to the situation says, quote, it's clear she will not be returning to the network.
Coming up, SU B-ball hits the court for the squad's first competitive action. Plus, how is Syracuse football handling uncertainty at the quarterback position?
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Welcome back to Citrus TV News Live at 6. I'm Jackson Ajello. After an appearance in the Sweet 16 last season, this season, Syracuse basketball returns all 5 starters and 94% of the squad's scoring from a season ago. But tonight, SU fans get the first look at the Orange in a competitive environment this year. SU tips off with St. Rose in the squad's first exhibition game about 40 minutes from now at the Carrier Dome. Syracuse knows what it has from a season ago, so the excitement tonight surrounds the new faces, like East Carolina transfer Elijah Hughes and the freshman pairing of Jalen Carey and Buddy Boeheim. Well, Halloween is just about 6 days away, and when people wonder who they're going to call about this time, we all know the answer. But when people ask who will be the starting quarterback for Syracuse football this weekend, the answer is not nearly as clear. As SU prepares to host 22nd ranked NC State this weekend, players like Kendall Coleman say one thing's on the team's mind, and it's not who will be quarterback.
When it comes down to it, I think everybody doesn't have a selfish mentality when it comes down to just, we all want to win. at this point, that's what we're doing it for. We're not doing it for the stats. We're not doing it for our individual fame. Like, no, you want to win. You want another tally in the win column. So whoever can help us, whoever's out there, if you're not out there, help however you can, and let's keep this thing going.
The 22nd ranked the Orange take on the 22nd ranked Wolfpack Saturday night at 7. The game marks the first primetime home game for Syracuse since 2010. SU has not beaten NC State since 2013 in Raleigh, and the Orange is 0-4 against the Wolfpack since then. And tonight marks the final game of what has been an incredibly frustrating season for Syracuse women's soccer. SU has lost 12 straight games, including all 9 ACC games this season. Syracuse looks to get the squad's first win of the ACC season tonight at 7 against Clemson. The Orange tonight will be donning all pink jerseys in honor of October Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And tonight in the NFL, Thursday Night Football pits the Dolphins against the Texans in Houston. Brock Osweiler is set to start for Miami, marking his return to the Lone Star State. Texans coach Bill O'Brien traded Osweiler to the Browns in the summer of 2017. Osweiler has thrown for over 600 yards in his last 2 games in relief of the injured Ryan Tannehill. Both teams come into the game at 4-3. On the ice, 2 New York teams are in action tonight. First, the Sabres welcome the Canadiens into Buffalo tonight in a game where goals could be tough to come by. Both squads in the top 10 in the NHL in defense. Face-off is at 7. A bit later, the Rangers face off with Chicago against the Blackhawks. Face-off is at 8:30, and New York looks to win multiple games for the first time in the young season.
All right, thanks, Jackson.
We'll be right back.
Here we go. We're going to go out there in the rain. You're going to get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh, yeah. Yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet. With the groove, show proof, keep it smooth as I bust the move. Hey, yo, step in swiftly. With me, keep up. If not, just stop, pop a squat, put your feet up. Read up, pay attention, listen to the melody. Remember what you heard, got my words to the spell of me. Top notch, got them all jumping like hopscotch. Jumping rope like double dutch in the air. Show me what you got, keep it hot like the heater. You thinking you a treat, cause you're sweet, but I'm sweeter. Leader of the pack, cause they all stay behind me. I'm old school, you don't skip tracks, you rewind me. Find me, working on my craft.
Welcome back, Carmella. And what should I wear to class tomorrow?
Well, it's going to be around 37 degrees. It's going to be completely overcast, not super windy, but depending on your liking, I would definitely wear a jacket, a scarf, a hat, and the boots, and the whole shebang, but it's really up to you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. A little heartwarming story out of a Tennessee elementary school. A kindergartner class surprised their hearing-impaired custodian on his 60th birthday.
They sang and signed the happy birthday song to James Anthony with help from teachers and nurses. You could see Anthony's reaction is just priceless. He said he was touched by the performance.
Wow, that's absolutely incredible. He looks incredibly surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I would be too. Such a touching tribute. I mean, that sounds like a great birthday gift to me.
Absolutely, and just look at those kids. They look so excited.
Yeah, and I mean, look, sign language is hard to learn. I mean, I know some of them, they might be a little out of sync, but it's the thought that counts. I mean, they look like they're doing a good job.
Absolutely. And that's all the time we have for you tonight. Make sure to check out our website at CitrusTV.com and follow us Citrus TV News on Twitter and Facebook. I'm Zach Lang.
And I'm Gilat Melamed. Have a great night, Syracuse.